So one, you always want to build a list. You always want to collect their data. And two, that's going to allow you to increase the lifetime value of each user that you get. And that's another thing that you will see with consistency, is that some people don't factor in the LTV to their acquisition cost. Meaning, if it costs you $10 to acquire a lead or a customer, and you get back $8 immediately, you think to yourself, okay, well, that means I'm losing 20%. But in reality, if you put them on your list and you send them a few offers over the next week and they turn into $15, you're actually making 50%. It just took you a week to do it.
You're listening to The Growth Booth, the show focused on achieving lifestyle freedom through online businesses. Whether you're looking for step-by-step strategies to start building an online business, simple game plans to grow your business, or proven lifestyle freedom frameworks, you are in the right place. Stay tuned and be sure to join the thousands of listeners already in growth mode.
Hey everyone, Aidan Booth here. Welcome to episode number 51 of The Growth Booth, which is the final episode of 2022. Now, I know that this is a busy time of year. We're going to try to keep this episode a little bit shorter than normal. And I don't know about you, but I've firmly got both eyes now fixed on 2023. And I want to talk about what I think will be one of the biggest opportunities of 2023, and that is affiliate marketing, but more specifically a subset of that. It's something we call CPA marketing. And our guest on the call today has a huge amount of experience in this. So Josh Jacobs, welcome to the call.
Thank you, Aidan. Very glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Now, before we dive in, and what I want to talk about really today are some of the pitfalls and mistakes that people make, because I feel like a lot of people's success doesn't necessarily come down to finding the right magic bullet or finding the right offer to promote, but rather avoiding tripping up in a minefield that exists with online business. But before we get to that, really keen to hear a little bit about your background and how you ended up building a mega successful affiliate marketing company that does millions per year in sales. So how did you fall into this?
Yeah, so I got started with affiliate marketing actually when I started college. I grew up knowing that I wanted to be an entrepreneur and knowing that I didn't want to get a regular job and, answer to a boss in a 9-to-5 setting. Nothing wrong with that. My whole life, I just knew it wasn't for me. And when I started college, I wasn't like a regular college student going and partying or anything like that. I spent all my free time learning how to build a business. And after doing a lot of research, I realized that affiliate marketing was the most ideal business for me to start at, a young age, because number one, there's very few barriers to entry. You don't need a huge budget. You don't need to, stack products or wholesale or buy any physical inventory. There's a lot of advantages to affiliate marketing that makes it easy for the everyday person to get involved. And as an 18-year-old college student with no money, that is exactly what I needed. So I started doing
It kind of sounds like you're telling my life story somehow. Like listening to this, I'm like, is he talking about me or is he talking about him? Because I was kind of similar in that in college. I was probably more like 20 years old at the time, but it was sort of like diving down this rabbit hole of, oh wow, there's this other way that I can make money, and I also fell into affiliate marketing. So anyway, sorry to cut you off there. I just wanted to share that.
No, I love that. It's interesting. You meet people who start businesses at a young age, and it turns out that they carry it on for decades, and that's kind of what happened here. Is I was in school, I learned the business, I made a lot of mistakes, and it took me, there also wasn't as much training back then as there is today. And, I made a lot of mistakes, and within a couple years, I kind of figured out how to grow the business, and I didn't give up. And basically, by the time I was 21, I had a, multiple six-figure a year affiliate marketing business. And really just, thought that I thought basically that I was the king of the world. I was 21, I was in school and making all this money, with all my friends who were working minimum wage jobs. And it was amazing. I thought I was, literally, I thought I was the king. I thought I knew everything. And that is when everything basically took a turn for me, and the main products that I were promoting totally shut down their business. And all of a sudden, I had to figure out what to do because I didn't have a product to promote anymore. The thing that I'd spent 2 years building all of my traffic for, a huge audience for, went away. And I had to figure out how to restart and essentially build from zero. And that is when I decided that I needed a strategy that's going to work for the long term, that I'm not relying on any third-party company, that if that company stops selling this product or doesn't want this offer anymore, my strategy will allow me to continue operating and making money no matter what. And that catastrophic moment in my career of, basically having everything go to zero was super necessary for me to strategize and figure out what's going to give me longevity in this business. And long story short, I figured out CPA marketing and lead generation, and the fact that I could get paid an affiliate commission for generating a lead in addition to generating a sale. And basically, that was the point in my career where everything changed. Business grew a lot. I learned that I would have longevity no matter what, because regardless of who the company is that's buying the lead or buying whatever product, my traffic strategy, the way that I was getting customers will stay the same no matter what. And that has turned into the business that we have today, which, like you said, is a multi-million-dollar per year operation. And it provides all the freedom of affiliate marketing that I dreamed of when I was that 18-year-old kid, learning how to start. And
we're going to be talking a lot more about this, but when we're talking about CPA marketing, it is an interesting subset, technically, of affiliate marketing. You are earning commissions, but it's done in a very different way. I think, at least the way that we do it, it's done in a very different way to how most people do affiliate marketing. So, for instance, we don't have to sell a product in order to actually generate a commission. We can make money just by capturing information about someone, and that's something that is, I think, quite refreshing. But then also, we can really double down on a niche if we want to, and provide a lot of value as well. So when we say CPA marketing, we're talking about getting paid for action, cost per action. We're getting paid per action that someone takes, which in our case, the way that we do the model and the way that Josh does the model is capturing an email address or capturing a zip code or something like this. Now, obviously, in all the years that you've been doing this, you would have made dozens of mistakes yourself, but you would also would have seen a lot of the pitfalls that newbies starting out tend to make. So I thought what we could do in the time that we've got here today is just maybe hit home on 5 of the biggest mistakes that people should try to avoid in 2023 if they're diving into any kind of affiliate marketing, but in particular the kind that we're doing here.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll start off with what we were just talking about, which is CPA marketing versus regular affiliate marketing, as somebody would think of it. A big problem with people getting into affiliate marketing is they choose products that have low commissions. That could be a physical product that only pays out a 5 or 10% commission, or it could be a digital product that pays a small commission. But what I realized early in my career is that there are products that you can earn a 50% commission or a 70% commission, or in CPA marketing, you can earn $30 just for having somebody submit a lead form. Or in CPA marketing, an action could also be constituted as a sale, and the commission could be 200% instead of 10%.
It could actually kind of be infinity percent, because sometimes you get paid money for no money at all being generated. You just get someone puts in an email and you get $30, $50, $100, whatever it might be, and it's like, that's not even a percentage of a commission at that point. It's just like an infinite, almost return on the transaction, because the transaction was zero. So it's quite unique in that regard.
And that's pretty much what 100% of our traffic is today for that exact reason, because I've found over time that while we definitely do, we can, create sales, and it's also easy to generate sales once you figure out the traffic strategies. But in my opinion, there's nothing, it's a lot easier to generate a lead than a sale. And that's kind of the model that we've ran with, and it's worked out incredibly well. So I would say that one, just selling low commission products when you have the opportunity to sell leads that don't pay any money and can make you a bigger commission than selling a $100 product at a 20% commission would. That's one thing. I would say, this is super basic, but I just want to hit on it because I think it's probably what stops almost everybody, which is just lack of consistency. And that's in anything you do. Obviously, that's in, if you're trying to lose weight, you have to be consistent. If you're trying to graduate with a degree, you have to be consistent going to school. Same thing with your business. There's so many people that enter this business space and think that they're going to get rich in, 2 weeks, when in reality, it's a business, and you can reap massive rewards if you are consistent. Just don't give up after 2 weeks. That's a huge thing, I think.
Just building on that one as well, people that do come into trying to start a business and see these magical returns in a couple of weeks, they really are shooting themselves in the foot, because if you do give yourself a longer runway, which is something I keep coming back to, and think about building a new business in 2023 and saying, hey, I'm going to give myself 6 months or even just 3 months to give this a really good go, then you put yourself in a position to win, because then you've got a bit of time to build a foundation and do something, and you don't need a miracle. You don't need that 1 in 100 lucky shot kind of a thing. You can just play the percentages, do the basics, be consistent for not all that long, but a few months. And I think the odds of succeeding are huge when you do that with the right model. So totally agree with you there.
Absolutely. And to build off of that too, with consistency comes momentum. And what you learn by being consistent and going over time is a couple things. This is related to a couple more mistakes that people make. One, some people, when they get into affiliate marketing, do not build a list. They generate traffic and send it directly to the offer without ever capturing an email address or a phone number or a pixel or anything to allow them to follow up with that user again. What that means is if that person doesn't buy or become a lead on the first visit, then you have no opportunity to follow up with them if you haven't collected their information anywhere. So one, you always want to build a list. You always want to collect their data. And two, that's going to allow you to increase the lifetime value of each user that you get. And that's another thing that you will see with consistency, is that some people don't factor in the LTV to their acquisition cost. Meaning, if it costs you $10 to acquire a lead or a customer, and you get back $8 immediately, you think to yourself, okay, well, that means I'm losing 20%. But in reality, if you put them on your list and you send them a few offers over the next week and they turn into $15, you're actually making 50%. It just took you a week to do it. And I think that's a big mistake that people make, is not building that list and not factoring the LTV into their acquisition cost. And again, consistency is what's going to help you figure out those numbers and grow your list, and bring those margins that you're making off of people up to a high number where you're profiting a lot of money off of every single lead that you bring in. So I think that's a super important thing to point out.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think we've already hit some pretty good big mistakes that people make. Just to recap on some of them: so poor choice of offers, specifically regarding the payouts, not having that consistency and sticking with something, really shooting for an overnight success, when if you took things a little bit more systematically, looked at it like a business, you would skyrocket your chances of success. Not building a list, big one. This is one of the biggest mistakes that I ever made. It took me about 2 years before I realized I was making this mistake and started building a list. That was a long time ago, thankfully. And not factoring lifetime value into acquisition cost of a lead. Before we go any further, can you just explain what you mean by acquisition cost, and then we can take the next mistake that you've got there?
Absolutely. So Acquisition cost just means the amount that it costs you to acquire a lead or a sale or a customer. In our case, since we're talking about lead generation, it's how much it costs us to acquire a lead. If we were trying to sell a product, it would be how much it costs us to acquire the customer that buys the product. So if we acquire that customer for $10 and over the next 30 days, we can make $20 off of that customer. Even if we lost money the first day we acquired them, long term, they are a very, very profitable user to have or lead to have. So that's,
fantastic. That clears that up. I'm sure some people would have been wondering. So what else have we got there? Anything else that comes to mind, mistakes you've seen other people make or that you've made yourself that people should really be aware of in 2023?
Yeah, there's obviously a handful, but I think the last one that I'll focus on is tracking, because everything that we just discussed in the last few minutes it can only be figured out through tracking. And that was another thing, like you said, it took you a couple years to figure out list building. It took me a couple years to figure out list building, and it took me another couple years after that to figure out tracking. And I think tracking is the most important thing you can do, because in all of your advertising campaigns, with all of your leads, if you are not tracking and you don't know your numbers, you're shooting in the dark. You won't be able to figure out what you need to do to scale or to become profitable and to make this successful. So it's super important to track, and there's so many platforms out there that make it incredibly easy to do this. And basically what this tracking will tell you is for how much you spend on your customer acquisition cost and how much you make from each of those campaigns. And what that will allow you to do is see, this campaign is profitable, this campaign is not profitable, so I'm going to kill this campaign and I'm going to scale this campaign. And if you didn't track, how would you know which of those campaigns were profitable and which weren't? So that is super important. Always track everything that you do.
I think if you're not tracking, it's kind of like you got a blindfold on. You're trying to drive a car with a blindfold on, and you don't really know which way to go, and you're sort of guessing. You don't have any feedback mechanism. And I think if you're sitting there thinking, oh well, tracking, I've tried that in the past, that was difficult, you can always have someone else set the tracking up for you. I mean, you can go to Upwork, Fiverr, pay someone $50. Probably not even that. I mean, probably 20, 15 bucks. It's pretty simple. It's just the case of putting a special piece of code on certain web pages, which any programmer can do for you, and it'll probably cost you 10, 20, maybe 30 bucks to be able to do that. And then you'll be able to get the most amazing insights into the traffic that you've got. You'll be able to see exactly which segments of the traffic are converting like gangbusters and making you a lot of money, which areas of the traffic are not making you any money, and then what can you do? Well, you can just double down on the ones that are making you money. So I think that's a really good point to sort of finish up here on, because if you take nothing else away from this episode, I think tracking and just understanding how important it is. And I'll add here that it doesn't matter if you're running paid ads or if you're getting organic traffic, you should be tracking the performance of that traffic, because that is just gold dust. It's just intel that no one else can get, that only you can get, and it's going to be 100% specific to whatever it is that you're doing. And by the way, it doesn't matter if you're doing e-commerce, it doesn't matter if you're doing affiliate marketing, it doesn't matter if you're selling info products, software, it doesn't matter. You need to be tracking the performance and the metrics around your traffic. Otherwise, you've got this blindfold over your eyes, and you don't have any feedback mechanism to be able to make strategic decisions. So I think
and the technology has gotten so much better over the last decade. Like when we were starting out, it was a lot harder to track accurately. Now it's so easy to set up, it's so cheap. You got to take advantage of technology and being able to have a binocular vision on your campaigns. So if you do that, you can. I'll end with this. I'll just say that affiliate marketing I got into it because I wanted to live a freedom-based lifestyle where I didn't have to go to a 9-to-5. I could work from anywhere. I have an unlimited earning potential. And that's exactly what this industry does. So I just want to, mention that for anybody out there who is looking to start a business that provides them with freedom, that gives you an unlimited earning potential. Affiliate marketing is an amazing, amazing industry to get involved in. It gives you all of that, and all you got to do is have a little bit of determination and consistency, and you can make this business work. So I just wanted to add that in there for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, when we talk about the holy grail business model, it's pretty hard to beat. Not just affiliate marketing, but in particular the type of affiliate marketing that we're doing.
Right.
And look, if you'd like to find out more about this right now, if you are listening to this around about the end of December, then we're running what we call our 12-day giveaway, which is a pretty fun and entertaining 12 days where we give away $1,000 every single day, as well as some really good content. And in that, we talk a lot about lifestyle freedom and achieving financial freedom, time freedom, and different things that you can do. And a lot of that ties in with what we're talking about here on this episode of the Growth Boost. So you can head over to the 12-day giveaway.com to find out more and participate and potentially win some cash here as well. So Josh, thank you so much for taking some time out of your day here to share a few tips. I mean, I think we've crammed a lot of value in here, and I'm going to recap them real quick here for people. Don't make a poor choice of offers. Think carefully about the kind of payouts you're going to be able to get. Stay consistent with it. Don't think about your online business in, I've got to make money in 7 days kind of a thing. Give yourself a little bit longer time frame. It doesn't have to be years, but give yourself a few months to get some runs on the board. Start building a list on day one. Don't fall into the trap that I fell into. Think about increasing lifetime value. You don't just have to worry about recovering your investment or making as much as you can on day one. Think about what other money that you can make from the customer and the audience that you are generating. And finally, if you do nothing else, make sure you track, because then at least you're going to have some metrics that you can fall back on and use to make smart decisions. Josh, thank you once again for being here, buddy. I'm going to have to get you back because I know that we could speak for hours and hours about this thing. So I'm going to be hitting you up, asking you to come back. And in fact, let's make a deal. I'd love to be able to get you back here maybe in a few weeks' time and talk about email marketing, because I know you are an absolute email marketing machine, and there's a lot that we could talk about there. So love to have you back, buddy.
Absolutely. Thanks, Ed, and appreciate it.
All right, guys, you know the drill. Head over to thegrowthbooth.com, navigate to episode number 51 to see a video of this, to be able to download transcript, get all the links that we've been talking about and everything else. And I will see you in 2023 in the next episode of The Growth Booth. Thanks for listening.